everyone, RogueGold here. Welcome back to the Division 2. And today, just when I thought maybe I can have a few days where I don't need to sit in front of the computer in case of breaking news, you know, everyone's on holiday, I figured things would be pretty quiet. Bam, I get proven wrong yet again. You may have heard about or experienced the major winter event snafu that went down this week. Fortunately, that has been resolved as of today, but we'll explain all of that. Additionally, we actually also got a brand new teaser dropped for the Division 2 Survivors yesterday with some very intriguing details hidden within this new image, so we'll take a look at that. And then I also want to quickly go over a few more items in relation to what is upcoming for the remainder of January. There's plenty to do, so let's get right to it. If you enjoy this one, you want to stay up to date on the latest, then you know the drill. Be sure to subscribe. A major shout out and thank you to our channel members as always. It is your support and generosity that allows me to continue doing what I love on here, so thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so back on Tuesday, maybe you were one of the people who were actively playing the game when all of a sudden the winter event went offline. Now, this was originally meant to run until January 6th. That was the date given to us in all of the official communications. But in one fell swoop, the world decorations, the Krampus Laugh spawns, the winter key generation, all of it randomly just shut off. So I began to get a ton of questions coming in about what was going on. I started investigating on my end. I did later put up a community post letting people know what was going on. Now, I did want to give my apologies for no video update on the situation until today. At that point, I had my videos for the next 2 days already done, uploaded and scheduled. I had a lot of New Year's and other in real life plans to fulfill, and I did not really account on needing time to cover news stories, much like today. So my bad, that's on me. But a quick reminder that if you want to keep tabs on our community page here on the channel in case of emergency updates like this, it could be a good idea. Also, if you're so inclined to follow me on Twitter, I always repost all of the major game updates that we get there. Or if you don't like social media like that, our Discord server also has integrated posts from the official team, so you can read them there. But as per usual, I will always do my very best to keep you posted right here on the channel. So anyways, Tuesday is when the winter event went down. At that point, we had no indication as to what had happened. It was then early the next morning on Wednesday when we got our first update from the team. That post indicated that they were aware and investigating the problem. They also stated that they planned to extend the winter event once it was back online. Well, fast forward to today, Friday, January 2nd, the winter event is officially back up and running. All of the footage that you've been seeing in the background was captured this morning. I had planned to wake up and make a video on this one way or the other, but we had gotten a series of updates overnight, and it boiled down to the fact that a fix was found, they performed a maintenance to implement it, and everything now seems to be back in order. The winter event now officially runs for another 11 days until January 13th. So if you need the extra time to get those last few apparel items, keep chasing that eagle bear, whatever it may be sure to make the most of it while it's here. Alright, next up, it's a new year, and we are already getting new teasers for the Division 2 Survivors. So, early yesterday morning, this post was put out by the Division team. It includes a new image for Survivors, and it says, "The trail doesn't end. The story keeps forming in the shadows. Happy New Year from all of us." Interesting. So this link just lets you download the image in case you want to, but we can expand it right here. First off, gorgeous. This has to be one of my favorite images that they've released for this so far. But compared to some of the other images, there are actually a good few details to be gleaned from this. The most obvious one is right here in front of this agent. You can see a trail of blood is leading to this interior that is illuminated. Now, if you've watched some of my previous Survivors videos, you'll know that the team has really stressed that these images are intentionally including teasers for the new content. So what I'm wondering, could this be suggesting that a new mechanic is going to be included to where if you are injured and you're not healing up your wounds, that you leave a trail of blood behind you, which could potentially be followed by other agents? That would be incredibly cool if so. There's also counterplay options there where you could intentionally lay a trap. I just think that opens the door to so many things. Again, we don't know if that's going to happen, but completely possible given this image. Another thing a bunch of people have pointed out is that up in this window, what do you see right there? There is a figure standing behind some of those blinds. There is some kind of red glow coming from that too. Does that mean that this is a rogue agent? Does it mean it's somebody else? We don't know. If we shift our view left a little bit, you'll see that there's a helicopter up in the sky here. Now, of course, survival was all about extracting and all of that, but what we keep seeing in these images is that helicopters seem to be present at daytime, nighttime, so I wonder if extractions are going to be much more dynamic this time around, or much more up to player choice when they want to get out. And then the final thing that I see a lot of people talking about is how on these signs down here, it reads evacuation last call January. Now this one I'm torn on. I've seen a lot of different theories about this so far. Some people think this backs up the idea that Survivors is going to be a prequel content experience, that it's going to be taking place closer to the original Outbreak, whereas the Division 2 canonically began in the summer following the Outbreak. Others think that this is a hint that we are going to be getting some kind of new major information about Survivors before the end of January. Both of those could technically be true. I still don't think this is a prequel experience, so I'm not really leaning that way. I do think it's certainly possible that we could get more information by the end of January, but I also think it's worth keeping in mind that within the Division's lore and world, everything basically shut down in December. It was Black Friday when the Outbreak went out. December is really when society began falling apart. And so for there to be a sign from Sarah that says evacuations in January, that is very much within the lore. That is what they would have been broadcasting out. Everybody then died off, and that is why the world is in the state that it's in, right? We still have Christmas decorations all around because they just never got taken down. So I think a very similar thing could be true here for that sign, but I guess we will wait and see. Regardless, this is a very cool new image that we've gotten for Survivors. They know how to keep the hype going. This is absolutely what I'm most excited for from the Division universe this year. But yeah, I'll be very curious to hear your guys' thoughts and if you think you can find any other hidden details within the image. Alright, and then finally, I wanted to just provide a few updates and remind people of some other important events happening in January. If today is any indication, things are going to stay busy, so I just wanted to let you know while I can. Firstly, we have a small update to the upcoming FPS Day event. If you did not catch my prior video talking about this, I highly suggest checking it out, as it seems that within the next 2 weeks, we are going to be getting an unveiling of what is in store for the franchise's 10th anniversary celebrations, as well as a look at some brand new content coming to the Division 2. So I will have that video linked in the description if you want to go and watch. The update that we have today is that we now have a more refined idea about the exact timings for this presentation. I was sent this event schedule by somebody who is going to be attending FPS Day, so huge thanks to them. And from this, we can see exactly when the Division team is going to be taking the stage to talk about whatever is going to be talked about. So a reminder that this event is going to be happening in Tokyo, Japan, and so for that time zone, this is happening on Monday, January 12th at 1300 or 1 p.m. It's important to keep in mind though that if you live within the West, Japan is actually very far ahead of us time-wise. So doing some quick conversions, this presentation is actually going to be going down at 8 p.m. Pacific or 11 p.m. Eastern on Sunday the 11th if you live within North America, or I'm pretty sure at 8 a.m. Central European if you live within that zone on the 12th. I really hope I didn't get any of those wrong. Time zones can be weird. As of right now, we still don't officially know if this event is going to be streamed online or not. As I mentioned in that previous video, I have graciously been reached out to by people who are going to be attending this event in person, so I should be receiving info directly from participants who will get to witness the presentation and play the planned content demo. I will be reporting all of that info to you guys regardless of whatever else may happen. But yeah, that is about what we know for now. I will update you all one final time if the game does let us know about any official info or streaming plans, but otherwise get ready. There's some potentially big news for the game inbound in just 10 days time. Also, I just wanted to let you know that given the time zones here and given that I have some plans going on that weekend that this is happening, my coverage for this may be slightly later than you would expect. My plan is to have a recap out about this on the night of Monday the 12th. That might though slip into the morning of the 13th, just depending on timings. So my apologies. As always, I will do my very best to get you the information to the very quickest of my ability. Alright, and then finally, I wanted to remind everybody that Survive Fest is going to be returning this month. You'll recall that this is the Division 1 event in which participation in playing the original survival mode is encouraged for a number of reasons. For one, just the nostalgia and anticipation for the upcoming Division 2 survivors. Participating is also how you get eligibility for the Division team to send you a survey about what you want to see in survivors. And then finally, you can also earn rewards in the Division 2. Now, this was originally cut off and postponed back in December due to some connectivity issues that the Division 1 was experiencing. Since Since then, the team says that improvements have been made in those areas. They also finally released a 60 FPS patch for PlayStation 5 all these years later, so that should drastically enhance enjoyment for those players when this does return. So, mark it on your calendar. Survive Fest is coming back between January 22nd, and that will run through the 27th. And while they've stated that some new rewards are being worked on to make up for the previous postponement, this will also give you a chance to resume and complete your progress towards the previous rewards. Probably the most notable out of those being this Serum Pestilence Exotic Skin. This one you earn for successfully extracting from Survival 5 times during the event's duration. That can be done in either PvE or PvP. So yeah, I just wanted to give you all one more heads up that this is coming back our way later in the month. I'm personally hoping that this time we'll get another dev stream with Magnus Jansen, who is the creative director on the Division 2 Survivors. He unfortunately had to drop out last time due to being sick. And if we're lucky, maybe they'll follow up that newest teaser image with some fresh Survivors details. I'm certainly feeling thirsty for some new info. All right, everybody. Well, that should be all of the news to go over for today. Again, we're wasting no time getting busy in 2026. I'm here for it. I am eagerly awaiting the FPS Day event to see what we learn from there. Also, I can't wait to find out what Survivors info we might get when Survive Fest kicks back off. So, yeah, there's a lot happening, and in the meantime, you can jump back into the winter event. So, at this point, you've heard all of my thoughts. Now I want to hear yours. What do you think about the new Survivors, teaser, everything that we have coming our way in January? Let me know. I'll be curious to hear. That is going to do it for me on this one, though. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you back soon. RogueGold. Ow. Oh! We just got a Ravenous! Haha! I might not be friendly. Let's go.
Coming to the Division 2.
Let's go.
And